Hey guys, as promised, I wanted to give you guys an update on our building capital campaign and how you can participate. And I think that when we look around us right now during the pandemic and now some of the social unease with all of the riots and the injustice that is happening, I think it's very obvious that we know that we need to be a light. And this building has served us well, but I think that we can do so much more for our community. We can do so much more for our country. We can do so much more ultimately for the kingdom if we were to move the ball forward on Eldorado. And last year when we did the capital campaign, we had a buyer that was at the table, and we actually got within a day of closing on the building. And then our buyer had some financial difficulties and some misgivings. Then Corona hit, and now we're in a state of flux. And we have 3 buyers that have expressed interest, but due to the financial crisis, they're waiting to see how things shake out. So without selling our building, it's impossible for us to move forward at this current juncture. So we had in our capital campaign, I think close to $3.2 million, and of which we've received roughly $1 million of that. And now the banks, because of the financial crisis, they were going to let us use the remaining $2 million as part of our package that they knew was going to come in at a later date. Now they're asking that we give that money up front before we could get our permanent financing. And so that is where we need to pray about this. And the 2 needs that we are then going to have is that we have to have at some juncture cash up front, and there's still $2 million left on our pledges. And then there is the sale of our building. So we need a buyer, and then we will have to raise that additional gap funding. And we've also cut as much as we can cut out of the project and still be able to move forward with the building that we had promised months ago. Technology things mainly are what we cut out. So still going to be a great project. But I wanted to give you an update on where we are. Also, our weekly income was about $40,000 last year and pre-corona this year, and now it's gone down to an average of around $33,000. We operate that is a weekly basis. We operate on a $20,000 per week, so that we can save as much money as possible above our budget. We've already spent in the last year $1.5 million that has come in through either capital campaign or it was money that we saved in preparation to build. And so we obviously understand that God has a timing, and that timing is going to be whenever he wants it to be. But at the same time, we want to do all that we can do to be prepared. For instance, now we have gone through all the city hoops, and that's completely done. We could literally break ground tomorrow if we closed on our building and had a buyer. We can do everything that we need to do on the property besides go vertical. There's one more city thing that's called a thoroughfare impact, and that's going to cost another $300,000. So we've run the race as fast as we can on the city side, and we were trying to make it line up with the buyer side. And so that's the thing that we're waiting on. And so if you want to know where we stand, where we're at, how you can pray for us, it's been extremely stressful, believing that you are almost through with one side and then have it pulled off the table. Very difficult. Several times on the city side, it seemed like we were done, and then literally the rules in the state of Texas changed to impact everything in Frisco. So this has been a crazy process, and it's a crazy time. But I think if ever there was a time where we needed Genesis Metro Church, a church that's all about people, it's right now. And if ever you wanted to invest in something that is going to make a change, I think it's Genesis Metro Church. I think it's the gospel of Jesus Christ, and I think that has more power than any political movement on this earth. And that's why we stay out of that stuff, and we keep it focused on the main thing, the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so the gospel of Jesus is not a right or left message. It is an eternal message. It's an incredible message. The only life-changing, eternity-changing message that we can invest in. And so I would ask you to prayerfully consider your participation. We understand that the financial crisis may have hindered some of you, and we are not trying to make you feel guilty or begrudge you. We want to support you in any way that we can, financially or prayerfully. If your family has any needs, please always reach out to the church. We always want to minister to our people. And if you have been blessed and you've been wanting, you're new to Genesis Metro and you're saying like, well, how can we get involved? Your giving is an important part of us moving forward with this project. And I think that everyone knows that building is going to be a place, a beacon of light in our community. And I hope that you would consider prayerfully your contribution to it. Thank you for watching, and I hope that if you have any questions, please email us at info@genesismetro.org.